Due to today being FOMC and seeing us not take out this hourly low and then just pumping up, I do still think we target these lows. But I recognized in this moment here with this and this that price action wasn't really going to be too favorable for me, right? Not saying that you can't find setups and that whatever, but for me, I was able to identify that for what I'm looking for, there was no opportunities that I was really thrilled about. And I decided to lock my account in record time. And yeah, but since nothing much to go over in the market, I thought no better than to go over, some things I think hold traders back that I've noticed in myself, and that I think is something that is talked about for sure, but not really emphasized, and can definitely be hard. I think it's a reason why a lot of traders fail and struggle. And I just had a comment yesterday on one of my videos where someone said that they had been trading for 2 years and that they couldn't take it anymore, right? The stress, the mental side of it, and all that, and that they were quitting. And there's a mixed response to that comment, right? There's some people saying, oh, why did you give up, blah blah blah. And look, man, I hope that if he changes his mind, I hope that he keeps trying, keeps putting in work. But the reality is that is 99% of people that come into this trading game, they come in and they don't last. And it's nothing against him, right? I think I respect the fact that he put in work for 2 years, and tried, and it just didn't work out, right? And sometimes things just aren't a good fit, right? I've tried different business models before loosely, right? Not for 2 years, but I've tried different things. It just wasn't for me. I tried door-to-door sales. Yeah, I mean, I made some money, but it wasn't for me, right? And I think that's life, and people, that's the first point, is that sometimes you're just not on the right path, right? You're just not on the right path, and there's nothing you can do about it. And maybe trading just isn't for you, right? And that might not be something you want to hear. I'm not saying trading isn't for you. I'm saying sometimes you're forcing something that isn't meant to be for you, right? Maybe you don't have the personality to want to do it. Maybe you don't have any passion for it. I promise, if you don't wake up and want to be on the charts, if you don't wake up wanting to trade, not itching to place an order because you're an addict to dopamine, but if you don't like doing it, you don't like getting better, you don't like studying, you don't like journaling, if you don't like to do that, then you're gonna get burnt out because you got in it for the money. The same way I got into door-to-door sales for the money, right? I saw some of my friends making money, a lot of money, and I was like, I want a lot of money, so I started doing it. And I was making a lot of money, sometimes $1,000 a day. Um, and I did it for a month or two, and eventually I realized that why you can't just do things for the money. And I was like, man, I'm just going to go back and keep trading. I was trading at the time. You guys can go back in the channel. I think I have a video called Starting a New Job. I took a little bit of time off this channel, right? It wasn't big at all. It's not big now, but it wasn't really growing at all. I was trading. I was getting better. I was feeling good about my trading right before I went, and I took a month off. And it made me realize that trading is something I really wanted to do, and it wasn't just as superficial as I thought. I thought I was doing it for just the money, but I did something that made me money, and I realized I don't care about just having money as much as I thought. And I realized that having something that you care about, let's go full screen here, man. I realized that having something that you care about here, hold up. I realized that having something that you care about in trading, or not even in trading, but something that you care about doing for money, is always going to beat something that you're doing just for money, right? So that's the first thing. I think some people get into it with the wrong intention. They don't enjoy the ups and downs of it, right? I don't enjoy losing. I don't enjoy struggling. But I think that you have to have a specific mindset to be able to sit down in front of a chart, and be like, look, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to do well. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. Shoot, I might make the same mistake 100 times, but I'm going to try it 1,000 times, right? And that's kind of the mindset you have to have, and you have to really enjoy it. I haven't made a single dollar from this, right? This YouTube, I've made a few $100, right? But in terms of trading, I haven't made a dollar. I've not made a single penny from trading. So I'm clearly not doing it for the money, right? I'm clearly not doing it for the money. Because if I wanted to make money, I could have spent a year putting in the same amount of work into some other business, and I'd be making a lot of money. I do it because of what it can give me, right? I look at these charts some days, like yesterday. I looked at the chart, and I was just looking at the chart after I finished trading, after I made my video, all that stuff. I was like, man, I can do this. Like I enjoy looking at the charts. Maybe not right now. Maybe I don't have the skill set yet, but I know I will be able to do it. And I see a lot of kids come on every day, and they do similar stuff to me, right? Documenting the journey, which is great. But I see a lot of people that come and go, and it's just like, they come in and they think that it's just going to be a quick ride, and they're going to be where they want to be, right? And that's just not the case, right? It's just not the case. So you have to come in with the right intentions. That's number one. This might not be a great fit. And you just have to be honest with yourself, man. Be honest. Are you looking at the dollar signs in your head saying, I'm going to do this, that, the other, retire, meet my family, and whatever? Or are you going to be cool with a year and you're not going to be able to make no money, right? I'm not saying you can't make any money first year, first few months, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you're starting now, or if you're a few months in, a year in, what's it look like a year from now? What's it look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now if you're not making money? Are you still enjoying it? Or is it, I thought I was going to be making, doctor's salary in 1 year, right? Because that's reality. Some people say, oh, yeah, cool, I trust the process, I enjoy the process, I enjoy doing this. A year comes in, they don't make money. I tried, right? And again, no hate to anyone that's you, right? It's okay to recognize that you don't like something. It's okay to recognize you can't do something. Perfectly fine. Don't mean that you're a quitter, don't mean nothing like that. It just means that this wasn't a good fit. Because trust me, this isn't a fit for most people. You honestly have to be somewhat insane to try and do this because the mental hoops you have to jump through are ridiculous. Second point is just self-control, right? A reason why traders fail, and what I recognize myself as self-control. I can tell myself something till I'm blue in the face. I can say, I'm not going to do this. I need to only do this, and I just won't do it, right? And that happens in other aspects of my life. I can admit that, right? And that's the reason why I fail. That's the reason why you fail. That's the reason why a lot of people fail at this, is just because I cannot stick to something I say. I say I'm going to do this, and I do that, right? How can I overcome this, right? Because you don't want to you can identify the problem, but you need to have a fix. And what's my fix? Well, it's the same thing I've been doing, right? I want to hold my trades longer. So what I have to do, I have to hold my trades longer, right? But if I keep making a mistake, what can I do to fix it? Well, come into every day and say, okay, if I get into a trade, I got to hold it, right? And the best thing you can realize is that you're still going to make mistakes. Even though you know the problem, you still can make a mistake. Just like people when they relapse, they're trying to get clean off something, they relapse. They know they're making a mistake. They don't want to do it, but we're human beings. We have desires in our head. We have our anatomy, our biology, right? It sets us up for failure in a sense, right? Because it's just human desire to do things, right? It's 99% of your day is habits, right? Or is subconsciously done, right? So you lose money, you want to make it back, right? That's just how it goes. Or let's say you're up in a trade, you don't want to lose. That's just how it goes. It's a natural response. You have to learn to rewire it. And one of the things, the reason why people fail and never can succeed is because they can never fix it. And I think also too is people give up on themselves, right? I could easily have given up on myself 1,000 times. I could easily still give up on myself because I make the same issue, the same mistake every single day. I make the same mistakes every day. Every single day I make 1 or 2 or 3 the same mistake I've been making, right? You look back January, February, March, April, making the same mistakes, cutting my winners early, right? Cutting my winners early, revenge trading. But I have to give myself the freedom to make those mistakes, right? Because just because I can identify them doesn't mean they're going to go away overnight, right? It might take a lot longer than they should or you'd expect. But I have to say, look, these are the mistakes I'm making, but I can't give up on myself. I can't give up on trying to fix it. Okay, cool. I got into a trade today. I cut it early. Not actually today, but like just hypothetically, right? I get into a trade, I cut it early. Well, I can't just give up on myself. I can't quit. I can't let that discourage me because, okay, cool. Why did I give up on that trade early? Well, because, I was scared of this or that or the other. Okay, cool. But then now you have more experience, right? Of course you're going to be nervous in a trade when you haven't seen it happen over and over and over, right? It's just like anything, right? If you go on a date with a girl for the first time, you're going to be nervous, right? The second time, you might still be nervous. Third time, kind of nervous. Fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever. Still a little nervous. Then you finally, okay, you get the courage. You make her your girlfriend, right? Cool. But you're still kind of nervous. And then it just slow. You start being more comfortable, right? You start being more comfortable. It's trading is very similar to those types of things where it's like you have to be more comfortable. If you've never held a trade to take profit, it's gonna be painful to get that trade to take profit. If you've never passed a funded account, for me, that's the situation I'm in. I'm at an account balance that I like, 2,250, right? That's the best I've ever done. So now I have this added pressure that ain't even real, but it's added pressure that's saying, hey, take this trade with 1 micro, take this trade with 2 micros. When I normally like to trade 4 to 5, right? Because then that's a normal amount. But then I see, I only want to lose like 50 to $100 on this trade max because like I don't want to go down that much on my account. So these problems aren't even trading. These problems aren't even chart wise. These problems aren't even analysis, anything. It's just psychological. And you're going to get new hurdles every time. It does not get easier magically, right? It's hard work consistently, right? You think that the person that loses 10K on a trade, you think that they're just buzzing about it? No, but they're not going to tweak about it. It's not going to run their day. It's not going to run their account. It's just whatever, right? That's how it goes. I lost. Chill. Whatever. We lost. Cool. Move on. Next day. But you every step you make is going to be harder, right? Maybe for some people, the eval, it ain't hard. They don't care. It's $50, whatever. For me, that's a little different, right? I don't know why. But I can see that there's different steps. The first time you ever trade on eval, it's like, okay, cool. I don't want to lose this account. So you're kind of nervous. Okay, you start getting used to it, right? Then you get to an all-time high in your account like I'm at right now. I don't want to lose it. So now you have a new barrier, right? Each step you take, you have a new wall, right? You don't just, when you walk upstairs, it's not a ramp. It's not a ramp. When you're going up something, it's not a ramp like this. It's stairs. You have this and you have this. You put your foot on this part and you step up over this wall. Every time you step up, there's another wall in front of you, right? I don't know if you guys are catching how I'm trying to explain, but here, if you're stepping up a stair, right? This is a stair, and then this is the other side of the stair right here. Man, it's like backwards on my thing, but imagine stairs. We all know what stairs look like, right? Every time you take a step up on the stair, if you slide your foot forwards, there's another wall right here. And then you step up and you slide your foot forwards and there's a wall. Every time you take a step up in trading, there's going to be a wall that you can hit. And there's a psychological wall. Okay, cool. Now you've passed your first funded account. Great. You took another step up. Boom, you hit that wall. Oh my gosh, this is real money. I can get a payout. Oh my gosh, I need $200 days. I need 5 of them. You hit a wall. Boom, you get that first time you hit that payout. Another step. What happens? You take another trade and it loses $300. You hit a wall. What do I do now? Right? Every single step up. I have 5 accounts now that I copy trade. Step up, but there's still a wall. So you're always going to hit walls. Always realize that, right? It's not easier for any of these people. Yes, they might be more confident in their trading. They might be more comfortable taking trades. They might understand what they're doing better, right, with experience. But there's still walls. Every level you step up, right? Now you're trading your own personal funds. You loaded up a $50,000 account of your own money that you earned, and now you just lost 500, right? That's another wall. Every time you take a step up, there's another wall. So don't think that you're special because you're going through struggle, right? Every single step you take, you're going to have a different challenge every single time. And I think that's a mistake, is that people give up on themselves because of a challenge, right? They say, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I shouldn't be making this mistake. And it mentally can beat you down, right? I make the same mistakes. It's frustrating. Yes, it's frustrating. But I don't let it stop me. I don't let it say, you know what? I'm never going to be able to do this. I say, I'm still making this mistake. I can get better. I have another chance tomorrow. I have another chance tomorrow. I have another chance. You don't run out of opportunities. Until the day that don't wake up, you don't run out of opportunities. I promise you that. So that was as mistake number 2, is just giving up on yourself because of mistakes, right? Everyone's going to make mistakes. You're going to have a hard time doing something, but you cannot give up on yourself. The third thing is just lack of belief. I think that the most important thing in anything is just belief. I think that there's a lot of power in belief. I've read books, right? I've gained wisdom, I guess you could say, from reading and stuff. And I don't know everything. I wish I did, but a common theme in a lot of these things is just belief. And I don't know if it's the way God programmed the world, but I think it is, right? If you believe in God, or you believe in the universe, whatever you want to believe in. I personally want to believe in God, right? I can do better. Obviously, I'm trying to do better eventually with that. I wish I was more locked in, but that's where I think I'll end up. for sure in terms of like belief. But regardless what you want to believe in, hear me out, right? Self-belief in the Bible and whatever, right? They talk about if you just have faith the size of like a mustard seed or something, you can move mountains. I don't know if that's a direct quote. It probably isn't, right? But let's just act like it is, right? If you just believe in yourself, you can do it. You can do trading. You can do whatever. You can do whatever you want. This isn't just trading. This is a mistake everyone makes in trading. Whether you think it or not, your problem is a belief problem, right? It might not be at first, right? Okay, yes, you need a strategy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But eventually you're going to have that strategy. Eventually you're going to have that consistency of like what you look for. Eventually you're going to know how to read the charts. Eventually you have all the tools, right? You have all the tools that X, Y, and Z has. Eventually you're going to have everything that you need, right? So what is it then when you have everything you need? It's self-belief, right? And why is it self-belief? Well, because if you believed in yourself, would you get out of your trade early? No, you would not get out of your trade early. So clearly you don't believe in yourself enough. Because if you really believed in the setup you're taking, you would say, man, I can get out of this trade. I believe in my strategy. If I lose this trade, whatever. I believe in the setup. I believe in the model. So I personally, because all the first two mistakes, or what was the first one? Giving up on yourself. Yeah, giving up on yourself. It all comes down to the third thing I'm talking about, which is belief. The third mistake that you make, it's just the belief, right? The other two that I first talked about, they really come down to belief. And it sounds just, talking about mindset, belief, whatever, but it really is important because it's everything, right? If you don't believe in yourself, how are you going to achieve something, right? How are you going to achieve anything if you don't believe in it? Because it's not going to work, right? If you don't believe in the model, if you don't believe in your setup, if you don't believe in your analysis on the chart, you're not going to be able to trade. You're not going to stick to one trade a day, whatever your rules are, because you take a loss and it's like, well, I don't even believe this works. So I'm just going to take another trade and another trade and another trade. And I'm just going to take this setup that's not my setup because I don't really know if my setup's even good. And that happens a lot. That happens to me, right? I'm working, I'm building the belief. That's why I still make similar mistakes. It's because to my core, I don't believe in it. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting closer to it. And that takes experience. That's where experience comes into play. That's why it takes people so long. And that's why you just have to trust the process and believe in the process, because it's going to take time. It's going to take time because you're not just going to believe in yourself like that overnight. That's a practice muscle in your brain, in your heart, whatever it is. You have to practice belief, right? You don't just believe in something just because you heard it. You don't just believe in something because you've seen it once. You have to believe it because you know it like the back of your hand. You see it happen over and over and over and over, and you do it and do it and do it. Then you're going to believe. Then you're going to take your setup and you're going to hold it because I really believe in what I'm doing. I've seen it. I know it. Without a shadow of a doubt, you know it, right? It's just why people that have a really strong belief in anything, it's like they know it, right? Because they put in the time, they put in the work, and they trust it with everything they have in them. If you don't trust your model, why do I get out of my trades early? Because I don't fully trust my model. There's a reason why I entered the trade. I enter a lot of great trades because I can spot good setups. I know what I'm looking for. I know when not to trade. But it's that little bit of doubt that you have in your brain that tells you you don't know what you're doing. You're not good enough. This isn't going to work. This is all luck, right? That's the final frontier is self-belief. Self-belief, that's the final frontier for me, because I look at people, I'm like, and I'm just inherently a doubter. I'm inherently skeptical. I'm a very skeptical person, right? I look at people, I'm like, there's no way this guy actually even makes money, right? He's just lying. He's just trying to sell me a course. He's just doing this. So then you hear them say something, it might be good advice, but you're like, you just don't believe it because you think that this or that, the other. You just don't believe it, right? There's so much of trading that comes down to self-belief, and it's just very easy to not believe in something. Very easy, because you might hear something bad about ICT, right? And you know what I mean? And when I first started trading, all I heard about was ICT is a scam, ICT is a fraud. And I traded his concepts, right? And I traded his concepts. I'm not saying he is or isn't, but I'm saying I trade his concepts. So when you're subconsciously programmed to believe that someone is a fraud and that his stuff doesn't work, you can't outrun doubt. You cannot do it. It's all encompassing. It's like a black hole. Doubt is a black hole in your brain. You can't outrun it. You just have to beat it, right? It's kind of like in the Interstellar movie, how Matthew McConaughey, he was able to get away from that black hole, right? It could have sucked him in easily. Doubt is a black hole in your mind. You got to figure out how to get away from it, right? Because it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there, but you can get on the opposite side. There's black holes in our universe right now, but because we're not near one, the Earth is still spinning, right? But as soon as one comes in here, we're gone, right? So there's always going to be black holes in your mind of doubt, and there's going to be doubt everywhere, but just get as far away from that as you can and just remove yourself from it, because that's the final frontier in trading, is just believing it, right? Once you have a year, 2 years, whatever, you have the experience, you know what you're looking for, you have to believe it. You've got to get away from the doubt. And honestly, I used to have a lot of more skepticism of ICT concepts. Again, I don't know ICT himself. I don't know this stuff. I don't know a lot of the ICT traders. But then it's hard, because it's like, okay, that's why I always preach authenticity. That's why I preach showing results. That's why I preach just being true, because it's like, it's so much self-belief. So for me, I've seen it myself. That's why if I ever was successful, I'm going to show everyone the money, the dollars, whatever. I'm not flexing cars, stuff like that, but I'm going to show you payouts. I'm going to show you consistency. I'm going to show you account numbers, because I need to see that. I don't just want to see it because I want to know how much money you have. I don't care about how much money you have. I don't believe that people make money trading. Obviously, I know people do, but I don't know if the person I'm learning from makes money. And that's why it just annoys me, because if you could just show undeniable proof, right? And it's kind of like a metaphor for the world, right? I want to have a better relationship with God someday, right? And a lot of times I say, why can't he just make it obvious? Why can't he just show me undeniable proof? Maybe that's a flaw with me. Maybe I have too much skepticism. Maybe I'm too whatever, right? It's kind of like with trading. I want undeniable proof that someone's profitable. I probably don't even need that, and I probably believe it, right? Just like I probably believe, that I don't need undeniable proof for him to come down and talk to me. But it's like, sometimes I ask, why not just make it clear, right? Why not just give me something undeniable? And obviously, it's not the same thing. Those two topics are very different and very different importance. But my point being is that if you're someone like me and you struggle with self-doubt and you struggle with doubt with your trading, it's going to be hard, but it's not going to be impossible, because you remove doubt by taking actionable steps, showing up every day, looking for your step, learning, seeing it play out, and seeing it yourself, right? You're not going to trust ICT because he told you. You're not going to trust your favorite mentor because he told you. You're going to trust him because you see it and you see results coming in. So I'm having to just go from ground zero. I've never just fully put my trust into any person I've seen online unless they have given me a great reason to. And, I start trading inversions. I still like them because I haven't seen enough reason not to, right? I haven't seen enough reason not to, and I've seen enough reason to do it. So I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm building my own experience. I'm building my own way of reading the market. I learned from Justin. I learned from Dodgy. I learned a little bit from ICT. I learned a little bit from this guy here, Johnny here, this guy. Like, I've learned from a bunch of different things, but I've taken them all in, put them in my brain, and said, let me see how this works. Let me figure out how this works. I think that's the last thing, is people are looking for a carbon copy. They want to copy their favorite mentor step by step, right? I take a lot of similar steps to Dodgy. I've never once watched him live trade. That could be a lie. I've probably seen him live. I've never once paid for his live trade. I've never just sat there, right? But I take a lot of similar steps. Why? Because the stuff he teaches works, right? Because what you look for can work. But you have to figure out your own ideas and your own whatever. There's a lot of trades I take that he doesn't take. And he says, this wasn't a trade, right? You take concepts, and that's number 4, is just take what you've learned from other people and figure it out for yourself. As much as that might suck, trading, I don't know yet, because I don't have undeniable proof that trading works for myself. But if I put the faith in that it does work, right, then what can I say about it? Well, if I ever succeed at trading, when I succeed at trading, it will be because I took different pieces of different information and put them into my brain, jumbled them around, and figured out how to do it. Who knows if a fair value gap means anything? Who knows, right? Who knows if a liquidity sweep is real? Who knows if the banks move the market? Who knows? Who cares? The markets move, and if you can pull money out of the markets consistently, that's all that matters. And I'm trying every single day to build confidence and trust in myself that I can do it. Because I know I can. I really know I can. But it's just, again, number 3, self-belief. Once you can get that self-belief beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're going to hold all your setups. You're not going to overtrade. And you're going to be doing the things a profitable trader does. I've got to get out of here. I have an appointment for my ankle, man. My ankle's messed up, and I have a snowboarding trip coming up. I really want to be better. But this is honestly probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. And not even kidding. Like, I've said that a few times, but like, not even kidding. This is honestly, this is the realest psychology talk, especially point number 3 that anyone will ever make on YouTube, because I just feel like it's just so shiny light. It's just so golden ticket. It's just so, you know what I mean? Like, the trading space is just so, oh, psychology this. What do you mean by psychology? What about it, right? Just fix your psychology. What do you mean, just fix my psychology, right? What does that even mean, right? We say these buzzwords around, right? A+ setup, gold psychology. Just have your edge, right? It's almost like nowadays, I see everyone online that talks as if everyone has a winning strategy. You might not have a good strategy. It might not work. But we just say, fix your psychology. That's all people say is like, fix your psychology. Maybe you don't even have a good strategy, right? If you don't have an edge, your psychology doesn't matter, right? So I just feel like the industry now is just buzzwords, this, that, the other, fan clubs. There's no authenticity to it. There's no, like, there's no real talk, right? And no one talks about the self-belief. I mean, they do a little bit, but they don't tell you why the self-belief is causing your other problems. So that's why I think this video was great. And I appreciate everyone that's been watching these videos and that watched this. If this is your first video you've seen of me, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, man, this was a great video. FOMC is happening later. My account's locked. I ain't going to touch it. You do what you want, right? Be careful. But I'm cool with taking the day off. No trades for me. Just got to look at the market a little bit. If we take a look right now, it ain't doing nothing special at all. It ain't doing nothing right now. This looks trash. So I'm so happy to not be trading right now. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me know how you guys did. Let me know if you guys like this type of video, because honestly, on the days where there's not much going on in the market, I don't really care about talking about this price action. What am I going to say? Fair value gap here, 1 hour fair value gap, didn't respect it, came down, high resistance liquidity. Cool, that was your recap. I'll see y'all boys, and maybe some girls. If you're a fine girl, please hit me up. I'm kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. But there's probably one girl that watched this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.